Hello,
Hello, everyone.
and welcome to show 109.
Number 109.
Who would have thought? Wow, time just flies, doesn't it, when you're having fun?
It does indeed.
And what a fun week we've had.
It's been so much going on,
Isn't it?
particularly last weekend as well.
Since last week's show, we had Model Expo,
We have.
we've had heaps of shipments,
Yes.
we've had goodies coming out of our ears. We've got a super special guest on today.
We have indeed.
No?
Yep.
With something that just freaks me out. Like, I'm scared.
You're scared. I'm scared too.
A little bit of wee come out, I'll be honest.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, when I heard the word arm, that's it.
Right.
I was done.
That's terrible.
So yeah, that is really cool. So we'll get to it. We've got the car of the week page.
We've got
what have we
cars.
got?
We've got cars of the week.
Cars of the week.
You see them there?
No.
They're spectacularly out of focus, so it's going
Are
to make
they?
your job extra hard. Okay, so what do we need to know here? Well, you're looking at me like that. So we need to know the makes of these cars.
The makes, the models.
Yep, if you can. The colors, I don't know if they're specific colors, but if you can give me a good guess on a color, I'll take anything.
And then not
the
British
year.
racing green. Because that'd give it away that it's British.
Yes.
Not that they're not British. I'm just saying that they're not British racing green. None
Well,
of
you've
them.
given away a little bit already.
I haven't at all. So make, model, color. Yeah. And maybe some fun facts.
For sure.
No?
Yes.
Because they're pretty fun.
They're very
Excuse me,
iconic.
I'm breaking things
Now, as you
already.
can see, look, we've got a whole heap of trains here. And that's probably because we're going to be looking at some trains.
We're
I'm
going
guessing.
choo crazy, haven't we?
I guess you could say that.
And this
Oh,
one
look.
looks like a noisy train. Who have we got
Yeah.
on today? Who's
We've
watching?
got Jeffrey. So Jeffrey's on.
Afternoon, Jeff. Thanks
Hello,
for
Jeff.
watching,
Thanks for
mate.
coming in. Jeff comes in every week, doesn't he?
Just about. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the show today, mate.
We've got Mr. Sim spec as well, and he's already got a guess.
Oh,
And his guess, unfortunately, is incorrect.
incorrect.
It's not a Fiat 500.
Hey, Jace, how? No,
No.
it's definitely not a Fiat 500.
No. So
What
keep your
else have we
guesses
got?
coming.
Keep your guesses coming.
Yep.
And let's talk trains before I get my big elbow in there and smash them all off the bench. What do you reckon?
That
We
would be
can't
wonderful.
do that without Marlon. Come on in, Marlon.
I saw that. You break it. You
G'day,
buy it.
Marlon. Thanks for
I know,
coming in.
right?
All right.
These all look pretty
Welcome.
spectacular.
They're
What have we got here?
brand new items, brand new trains, or brand new locomotives that we've never seen before.
But they look old.
Which ones?
You might say that you've never seen them before, but you could tell me everything
No, which
about
one?
it.
This one is a restock.
Is
In
it?
fact, we can
Oh,
mention
you
this
just said it was
first.
brand new.
Well, no, the other ones are. I didn't know which ones you're looking at.
You're confusing.
But this is.
What have we got?
This is a Haskell.
A
And
Haskell.
it's made by Haskell,
Oh.
produced by Haskell. NA class steam locomotive.
Ah,
narrow gauge
one of
steam
my
locomotive.
favorite, NA.
I guess
Naturally
more.
aspirated.
Well, in a way, yes. But yeah, I suppose it is steam aspirated.
Yeah?
But yeah, it's it more famously known as the Puffing Billy. So,
Puffin Billy's not great.
no, but it's the same locomotive.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. So
You keep throwing curveballs at me. I'm trying to learn these
do
things.
we want to have a
and
look at it with a little
Why
bit
not?
more detail?
Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go in a bit
Going
more.
to
Get
overhead
closer.
town.
Let me just get a focus.
Oh,
before we
well,
flick it
there-
over.
that looks
Don't do
great.
that. You scare
Oh.
people.
Is it?
That's very
What
good.
have you got? Oh, we're in.
We're in. How's that?
super zoomed in.
That's super tight.
That is very tight. But you know what? That's really good because we can see exactly how much work went into producing these. So
What can you tell us?
Scale all these again.
so this is ON30.
Right.
So this is an O scale locomotive, which is really big.
A
like
what?
O
O
scale.
scale.
Like you see it and you're like, oh my goodness, that's a really big scale.
Yeah.
I've just been learning N and OO.
Well,
HO.
Well,
Yeah.
HO stands for half O,
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And this
That's
is 4O.
and this is just O.
Big O.
This is
Wow.
Capital O.
That's exactly right. So this is a scale factor of 1 to 43. I'm pretty
Right.
certain.
I don't know.
So yeah, basically
I'm
take
out. I'm
HO
done.
and times it by 2.
I'm done.
Um,
Every time I think I got a handle on this whole rails thing, you come in and just blow my mind.
look at
Oh,
that.
good.
Look at the
That is
detail
fantastic.
on that whistle. That is really, really nice.
Does it make noise?
This particular one does not.
Oh.
A lot of detail inside the cab, if you can see it. Valve gear, gauges.
Yep.
This is one of the nice things about going into a really large scale like O, is it allows you to do a lot more.
Oh
Look at all the
my,
grating on the back.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, it's so detailed.
it is. You got
Oh, the
LED
light.
lights front and back. So you got directional lighting on both sides. Got your knuckle style, KD style couplers.
The what?
KD style.
KD.
So they're knuckle couplers. They're
Yeah.
very similar to how the real life couplers on a locomotive work.
Mm.
With a trip pin. So if you want to do magnetic uncoupling, This
You're
will
making
force-
these words up.
I'm not. Magnetic
trip
coupling
pin.
is the thing. It's a trip pin. It trips
Radio.
the coupler open.
Does it?
Yeah, releases it. And it's a nice feature, really.
That's cool.
So,
The
Anyway.
train I catch home
Okay,
every
let's-
night doesn't
let's
have
zoom out
that.
just a
Pull it
little
out of
bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
So this particular one, these were designed for the narrow gauge lines all over Victoria. And now Puffing Billy is probably the most famous
NA.
the NA class. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's right. So I don't think they have any green ones, but I do believe at a certain point in their history, they did paint them in different colors. We sell these in 5 different varieties
Mhm.
Yep.
throughout the history that these locomotives were produced and ran. So there's the green one, there's a red one, there's 3 variations of the black coloring.
Mhm.
One has the red striping along the frame and the handrails.
Yep.
And then there's a black version of this locomotive with both this early brass top chimney stack
Mhm.
and the more modern type, which is not as nicely ornamentally detailed, but probably easier to.
I really
It's
like
on
this green. The
surface.
green really glows.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed this
I think
particular
it's too
one.
green for me. I'm a
Too
green.
much.
I'm a big fan of green, but I think it's almost too green.
It's too green.
Almost too
Yeah.
green.
It's too poppy.
Because
Oh.
I reckon the steam engine would have been pretty dirty and filthy and ashy, and
Yeah.
it's almost like too fresh.
Well, early in their careers, I think that's when these were painted the more elaborate color schemes, and then later on,
They got lazy.
they got lazy, but they tried to save money. Running a railway became a more challenging operation economically. So you save money where you could, and they would paint them black. That way they wouldn't, they'd be dirty, but you wouldn't have to clean them as often. But anyway, that's just a really nice example
Mm.
of
Yeah,
these
it's
locos.
beautiful.
So we've got every single variation available now.
Yep.
They also produce wagons.
A wagon.
Yeah, wagon. Or
Like a wagon
freight
wheel.
wagon. So they call it a gondola wagon. So that's it. Yeah, gondola wagon. And
I
there's
think you're just picking on me constantly.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
but yeah, the two of them together. There you
Gondola
go.
wagon.
And I've been informed that in the near future.
How did that join?
It's
What
the
do you mean? It's a
knuckle.
knuckle.
It's a knuckle. It just
What is?
joins.
Like this.
Exactly right. It's
Wow.
exactly how B-Jeb demonstrated it, just like this.
Yeah, that's it. See?
That's how why it's called.
Knuckles.
There you go.
And I heard that Haskell is going to be producing the passenger coaches
Passenger.
for the NA class
Oh,
locomotives.
they'll
If you
look
want
really nice. I'll be like
certainly,
quite a bit higher.
yeah. I mean,
So-
these look almost a bit small, don't they? in
They do.
comparison
So that's
to
not going to
locomotive?
go on our layout.
It won't. This won't today. Well, it won't go on our layout that we're building, which will be something that we'll investigate more next week because there's still a fair bit of work to be done before that can be shown.
Sculpting and making.
That's
That's
it.
a bit too giant for your layout.
I think that
Is it-
might be something that we have to do at the end of the episode next week because it's going to be messy
Oh,
and your hands are going to be covered with plaster. So
Oh,
I think we're going to have to really structure that well. But
as
yeah,
long as you play Unchained Melody, I'll be right.
we're going to have that on.
Are
I'll
we?
make sure I have that.
All
there we go.
right.
Nicely
We'll
parked.
play
What
that
have we
in the
got?
background.
Parking spot. So this
Can I
is
get
what
that
I
first?
thought.
I'm really scared I'm going to break it. Just
Oh yeah,
let it-
put it on
Okay.
the left side. That's fine. Go
You're a
for it.
scaredy cat, aren't you?
So these are the new ones that we've just received.
Oh, it is
Hadn't
good.
had them before.
It's electric.
It is electric. We've talked very little about electric trains on this show.
Should we have a look at it from the
Let's
top?
let's
Well,
do
who
that.
models electric trains?
Well, these are modern era locomotives. I thought these were super modern. This is a Class 90 locomotive. I didn't know too much about these, but I've done a lot of research now. And they were developed and built in the late 80s to early 90s. So this is actually a 30-year-old design.
Hmm.
So it's quite good. I think.
Looks much like the train I catch home every night.
Does it?
Mine's got
I don't
a
know
few
where-
more windows.
I don't know
in
where
it.
you sit, but yeah, these are based on. I know that when they privatized the British Railway network, they have all sorts of different private carriers.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with these particular markings. If anybody does know, that would be
It's
great.
probably cigarette sponsorship
Um,
that's taken off.
could
due
be.
to, no, due to law
But,
changes and legislation.
They all have good names though, with these nice plaques on them. So this is the Penny Black.
Sounds like
Oh.
a pirate ship.
It does sound like
Doesn't
a
it?
pirate ship.
What's on that plaque there? Is that a profile of
That is the
face?
profile of the
Queen.
Queen. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, right.
Her Majesty. Yes,
Her
ma'am.
Majesty the Queen.
Yes.
Happy coronation. There you go. Is it coronation? No, Jubilee. Sorry,
Jesus.
that's it.
The same thing.
70th anniversary.
Gonna get us in trouble, man.
Nice sprung buffers, which is always cool. I always
Need
like
those
when
if
they do
I'm
that.
driving them.
You would be
Just
hitting everything.
really nice detail on the roof. You've got they call this a pantograph. This is the part that raises to make contact with the electrical line.
But this is a
Pantograph.
bit special.
Wouldn't
though,
that be
isn't
cool if it went up automatic?
Yeah, you know what? That would be really cool, and it's really interesting that you've mentioned that
Why?
because this particular locomotive, all of these are sound fitted, DCC and sound fitted. So I was
really love that,
Is that
don't
why
you?
we
You
got
are.
the NC power cab?
that is why we have the NC power cab, which
Can
is
we go
our
choot choot
which
choot?
is our favorite DCC controller,
All right.
which we've just received a restock of. So we now have plenty of these
Fire
in
it up.
stock.
Can
So
we put it in the?
absolutely we can. Are we on the?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You can do.
This-
What do you?
We just need to go to this one here. So this is the city of Glasgow in the Virgin Rail. Glasgow.
Maybe we'll push it over this side. I might get
Glasgow.
a bit of view of it.
Go
I didn't
for
want to strip the gears.
I'm going to
I didn't know.
take it
you-
for a drag. Take it for a drag over here.
Yes.
There we go. How's
That's
that?
You didn't make any noise, Beej. You did it wrong.
So let's
Is that
get
too
this
late?
fired up. Let's see what an electric locomotive sounds like with a sound chip.
I'm going to be
intrigued.
underwhelmed, aren't I?
Oh,
What's happened?
Sounds a lot like an air compressor building up air pressure for the brakes.
oh. So they need brakes.
They do need brakes. Yeah. So air brakes on pretty much all trains nowadays. So you always have a compressor running, and as far as I know, that just keeps cycling. It
This
just
is
keeps,
Virgin on the side of it.
It does. So yeah, like Virgin
Virgin Rail.
Airlines. There's also a Virgin Rail subsidiary as
Oh,
well
there
in
you go.
Europe and the UK. I think too is like
Mr.
a
Branson's got his sticky little finger in a lot of pies, hasn't he?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
so we got
got a horn. Got a few horns.
a few horns there. So let's try
Was that a combo move like in Street Fighter?
yeah, kind of, yeah. So there's like three
Oh.
different tones. I've
Uh-oh.
got all sorts of crazy noises going on now. Who would have thought an electric train would make so much noise?
We haven't even moved yet.
What this is the
I want to
cool
know.
part,
I
though.
want to know. How does it handle?
This is the cool part. Watch this. There you go. You guys see that? You've got a
The pentagram goes up and down.
that is
Pentagram.
exactly right.
Look at it.
Hang on.
Are you getting
Yeah.
it on camera?
How about we do that
You've
again?
broken it.
So down and then up we go. So
Wow.
there's an electric servo in there that will actually control the movement of the pantograph up and down.
Yep.
Would
And
people model
yeah, they do.
overhead wires?
They do. In most cases, they don't
Really?
actually carry
That's
the
what
power.
that easy line is for. Have you seen the easy line?
I thought that was for fences.
For what?
Fences.
Yeah, for fences as well. Yeah, for electrical wires.
Rigging.
It's a completely different gauge. The gauge would be way out. Have you seen how thick the gauge is on the overhead?
But there's two thicknesses. There's like a thin and a thick.
You
There
could
you go.
approximate it pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
But this won't actually run unless the pantograph is up.
Oh, really?
That's
That's
sneaky.
realism.
That is. So let's get it going.
That's it.
Let's see if we can get some throttle and get it moving.
I'm scared.
Because I've got to push just the right button. I had to familiarize myself
Oh, really?
with an electric train.
I'll catch it.
because
Do they handle different?
They must do. Ooh.
Uh-oh. No. We've parked.
All right, let's go. Let's get it up to.
What are we doing? It's going to start moving?
It is going to start moving soon. I have made it move. I can't confirm it
we're
has happened.
just charging the batteries.
Oh, something sounds like it's happening.
Oh,
Nonetheless, it's still really cool to see that.
this
But-
is embarrassing.
No, not at all.
It's warming up.
I'm loving it. Like, look at you. I can't get enough of this. I know you guys can't either.
Does it go?
It does go.
What does momentum do?
Momentum controls. Well, momentum.
Okay.
So
Like soft
let's
start.
but I have been informed from the instructions, which I do have handy,
Yes.
that you need to have the pantograph up in order
Yes.
to make it move. So
This
a-
is live
this is
TV,
the
mate. You
sheet
can't
that
go
has-
reading instructions
That's
here.
it. No, I have to read the instructions. So it says here
This is ridiculous.
that it needs to be on F6.
If that fellow gets instructions out for that helicopter, I'm out.
F6.
F6,
All right.
F6.
F9.
Locomotive will not produce any automated or function controlled sounds without F1 being turned on first.
F1.
Right.
Oh,
And
it's
then either
making sound.
F6 and F12 also needs to be turned on. So there we go. So we'll turn off 2 and 5. And in theory, that should get us moving. Well, listen to that, guys. It's doing something.
Something rolling up.
No, I think the handbrake's stuck on.
I don't know if there's a handbrake.
Oh, look out!
it's moving, it's
Oh,
moving.
You get
there
it.
you go. Emergency stop. Let's do it. Let's do that in reverse. There we go.
All right. Oh, there you go. Oh, we've got movement. There's movement at the station.
How smooth is it?
Very
That's because
smooth.
it's electric.
What would have thought?
I think the brakes are really good compared to what the steam one we played with. They have come a long way in 80 years.
They probably have.
More realistic momentum braking, I guess. Yeah.
Is it?
So look how good that is. I can stop it just in time. Almost.
Stops on a dime.
Wow, that's cool.
All right, let's park it. And we'll retract the pantograph.
That's just your favorite thing.
It is. I love that word. And then we'll shut it down. There you
Oh,
go.
she's going
That
pretty
was,
quick, isn't it?
that was good.
Mm.
Everything works quickly and efficiently in the future. of the
Unlike
80s.
me.
That's cool. That's really nice.
So yeah, I was really impressed by this locomotive.
Mhm.
Has a lot of features I've never seen before. And it was really cool to be able to demonstrate those. Yeah.
That's nice.
And we nearly tested out the spring-loaded bumper
That's
bars.
it. Almost.
Buffers.
Sorry.
Buffer stops.
Buffers. Stop.
What do
So-
you call
I call them buffers.
Right.
They're spring loaded.
Yep.
But it's interesting the difference in the performance, how they've changed it. This accelerates and brakes much faster than the steam locomotive.
Yep.
So they've obviously really put a lot of thought into the momentum and sort of like the performance capabilities of the different locomotives that they
Yep.
put these Dakotas into. So that was really cool to see that.
it? Wow.
Yeah.
I think they've overthought
Amazing.
it.
Overthought it.
I don't know.
Probably over
That's,
time.
that's very impressive.
That is cool. And
Very
all
nice.
these ones are the same series, are
That's
they?
right.
Is it-
So there's a
different-
whole bunch of
different
here.
liveries?
Different liveries. You've got Freightliner,
Yep.
which is quite a nice distinctive one.
And these are all
EWS.
are these all-
These are 00 scale. So they're a British locomotive
Mm.
from the late 80s, early 90s, but in modern paint scheme. So apparently this is still going very strong on UK railways. And they do high-speed express and goods trains. So yeah, really cool.
Nice.
So if you're doing a
Like it
modern
a lot.
era British railway, that's a good one.
Well, since you're there, I've got a question from.
Yeah.
I've got so many
this
unanswered
is actually
questions.
not a question to start with.
Okay.
So,
What?
Mrs. Stone Farmer from the US, I think Mrs. Stone Farmer is from. Never touch your tongue to the track and turn it in full. I cannot confirm I did that as a kid. So it probably stings a bit, I'm guessing. But he does have
Probably
another.
does.
Does have another.
That would be 12 volts DC, so it would be painful but not fatal.
His actual question is: do any trains incorporate Bluetooth or similar for their operations?
There are some. I think Hornby came up with a set within the last year or two. That was the iTraveler set.
Yep.
That it's not a DCC set, so it doesn't have a. This isn't Bluetooth. This gets the signals through the rail.
Yep.
That's how digital command control works. But I do believe that there are trains. Hornby produced a set very recently, an entry level set.
Yep.
Designed to be an easier, more accessible price point than DCC, and I think that incorporated Bluetooth.
Yep.
And then there are also DCC systems that use Bluetooth to allow you to control, to piggyback off of the control system onto a phone. This doesn't have that capability, but there are sets that can do that. So
Right.
I think I've heard
Yeah.
Dan Finn talking something about that. I
Yep.
don't know.
he would be a whiz with that.
There you go.
Okay,
All right.
well, that was great.
Well, thanks very much, guys.
Very nice.
That
Thanks for
was
coming on.
quite a demonstration.
Yeah,
And next week, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into our layout,
absolutely.
our N scale layout. Is that right?
009, but close enough.
009.
That's it.
That's going to be
009.
exciting, isn't it?
00, my God. It's going to
But
be awesome.
Like, don't wear your good clothes. Bring a newspaper if you can. 'Cause
Every
you're gonna
day
have
I
to lay
look
it
my
out
best,
over
you
the
know that.
bench. And prepare to get your hands dirty.
That's
Yes.
all right.
Anyway,
I'm
thanks
up
very
for it.
much, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Marlon.
Oh, that was hectic.
Wow. You love
Oh.
all the sounds, don't you?
And
Let's-
such a
let's-
kid.
let's
I am
park these away.
I'm such a child.
But while you're parking those away,
I'm going to have to. You
we
can
do
you can
have some
talk.
guesses on the cars.
You can talk little cars because
Yep.
we're about to go monster.
All right. So here we've got. So Bruce has suggested the cream one is a Messerschmitt. And
A
he'll be-
Messerschmitt.
Yep, he's absolutely right. The cream one is a Messerschmitt. And now Bruce has also guessed
I thought Messerschmitt was a brand of plane,
it is, but they made this car, a three-wheeler.
a three-wheeler.
And now Bruce has guessed that the blue greeny one is a BMW Isetta. Unfortunately, not. It's close, very close, but not quite. Now Tony P's also said Messerschmitt. Yep. So one of those is a Messerschmitt.
Which one? Have we got a color on the Messerschmitt?
Yes. So Bruce gets the color. He's called the cream one.
Oh, the cream one.
So it's actually a sort of yellow.
I wouldn't call it. I'd call it more of
What,
a mustard.
mustard?
More of a
Mustard.
mustard than cream. I don't know. You are the color palette whiz. I'm not giving it
Yeah.
away, am I?
Dijon mustard.
Oh,
It's making me hungry now.
I love it when it gets stuck in your moustache.
Do you now? All right, so we've got another one here. So we've got Jeff said an Isetta. Yes, but you got to tell me which one it is.
You have to
Which
move.
one is the Isetta? And then Tony said a Peel P50. Unfortunately, it's not a Peel. There's no peels there. So we do have a Messerschmitt, which is the yellow one. We've got an Isetta, which is correct, but we haven't got the correct.
We haven't got the color.
Yeah, which version it is yet.
So we've got 3 on our little. What do you call it?
What?
Stand?
Bubble. What?
Bubble
The
car
stand,
series.
Yeah. On the stand.
Is it like bubble tea?
Yep.
And they are removable.
Yep.
I did want to.
So Stone Farmer is from California. So
I did want to remove them, but BJ
he's
wanted
in the evening
it.
at the moment.
All right, let's go.
All right, what have we got next? What have we got here?
What? Stop throwing curveballs at me.
I'm looking at stuff.
No, it's time to look at something else.
Green one looks like the car in the Brazil movie. I haven't seen that, so I couldn't say.
I'm lost.
Maybe not.
I am
But
lost.
how about what are we going to move on to?
I reckon our next guest,
Sounds like a
our
plan.
super special guest, if you've
Yes.
seen on social media
Mhm.
and our Instas and stuff,
Yep.
we've got a guest coming in this week.
Yep.
And he's brought in something that's really, really unique and quite sizable. So
Very
come
special.
on in, Mr. Brendan Tucker. Wow.
Hey, Brendan, thanks for coming in.
Hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having
Does
me.
not even fit on the table.
No, it doesn't actually. It's
Don't
Quite
eat the
large.
blades.
This
Don't
does,
eat the
not,
blades.
this does not look like a car.
lucky it's not turned on. You'd lose your hand.
Wow. That is right at head height.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at, Mr. Brendan? What have we got?
So
What have you brought in for us?
what we're looking at here is a 700 size helicopter.
700.
Yeah. So it's dictated by the blade size. It's electric, so we don't have a specified motor category for this size helicopter. Previously, back in nitro days, it would
Yep.
be a 90 size helicopter. So a 15cc glow engine and probably slightly smaller blades, 680mm blades. But yeah, the electric's got a little bit more throw in it, so we can put bigger blades on.
Yeah.
That is very impressive. Very
And this
impressive.
isn't just for like scenic flights and stuff, is it? This is like
No,
for some
no.
there's some pretty crazy stuff. If you haven't seen this stuff, I don't even know where you would find it. Somewhere on YouTube, but
Yeah.
it does all sorts of I don't know what aerobatics or 3D flying or what I don't know what do you call it?
So the style is actually called Freestyle 3D.
Freestyle
And basically the helicopter, there's no dictated path or anything like that. It is basically push the sticks and move the helicopter around the sky. But we do have certain maneuvers within that category. So
Yeah.
the helicopter will flip upside down. It can fly backwards, sideways. It can fly knife edge. Basic stuff.
Which is vertical,
Yeah.
and it can like rock on its rotor
Yeah,
thing,
the old
on the
TikTok.
tail
Yeah.
rotor thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't look. Yeah, it looks like something just not natural at all. You know what I mean?
It defies what a helicopter can do.
That's
You know,
right.
we see them flying in and around Melbourne all the time, and they just putt in and land and take off. But
They don't do things like what you guys can do with them.
no, they don't.
Hey,
They'd be quite ill, I think, if they did.
now and I don't want to like bear down or anything, but I'm tipping that you've had 1 or 2 crashes in the past with one of these.
Mate, I've had a few of it. I've been doing it since 1990. So
Wow.
yeah, I've had a few tip overs. I've had a few fall apart in the sky. Bolts missing here and there. But yeah, as you get better, you sort of find those little things out, and you make sure all that stuff's nice and tight. And
When
yeah,
when
you
they
fail.
crash, is there much salvageable generally, or is it like sweep it up, put it in the bin, and start fresh?
depends on the type of crash. If it if it's a very gentle crash, you may just bend the boom, new set of blades and a main shaft. You might bend it. The newer generation helicopters are a lot more robust. They have a lot more structure, as you'll see when we take the cover off, that will actually encase that monocoque and stops things from bending. You don't tend to do a lot of damage. It's more blades, boom, rip the struts off it, and the landing gear as well.
And so it doesn't have a scale, so it's not a scale. It's not a. This is built to perform. It's not like a scale. It's like quarter scale or ninth scale or that.
But no, not
It's
really.
just
As
a
you know, like helicopters come in
big
various
rock
sizes.
helicopter.
Yeah. So, if it was a Mil 24, it'd be a baby helicopter compared to that thing. So, yeah, a 1/5 scale Hughes 500 would probably be about that size.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like you said, you've been flying for quite some time now, and you're quite I don't know, commended, I suppose you put it. You're quite bespoke in your field. Like you have won a few trophies and events in your time.
Yeah, I've got a few dust collectors on the shelf, mate.
That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
lot of hard work went into those dust collectors. Yeah, I started off competition flying around about 2001, and just sort of got a bit of a hunger for it. You know, it's like car racing, and it made me more disciplined in my flying, which meant that every time I got better, my scores got better, which drove me along.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2006, I actually made my first Australia team, and I went to Japan for the Asia Pacific titles over there, and didn't do so well, but it's an experience. I can't do now because of what's happened in the world, but a lot of fond memories with some good mates. And then the following year, I backed that up, went to the World Championships in Poland, and that was a bit of an eye opener as well. And then made the team again in 2013, and so I did a bit better. But the thing there was everyone else had stepped up, and the guys over in Europe, as we know with cars, the helicopter guys are just so fanatic and they really, really drive it. And the Japanese, those guys do it for a full-time job, which is just astounding. So you can't compete against those guys.
Well, you should still be happy with your achievements, being able to be selected for the national team. I mean, that's quite spectacular.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm quite proud of it, actually.
Well
Yeah.
So let's pop the hood. Let's have a look under the hood, and you can tell us what we're looking at.
So as you were saying before, you do some pretty extreme maneuvers with these. So hence the materials used need to be pretty spot on too.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. I'll just watch your hair there for a sec. A lot of the maneuvers will actually draw around about a 20 G load.
20 Gs.
20 Gs on the airframe. So
man, we can barely handle 1 G.
Yeah. So like this helicopter ready to
vaccinated.
fly.
I'm 6G apparently.
So this helicopter ready to fly is 5.1 kilos. So at 20 Gs, when you're pulling that maneuver, 100 kilos on it.
Yep.
It's made out of carbon fiber.
Yep.
A lot of 7075 aluminium in the bearing blocks.
Yep.
The rotor head, things like that. So there's quite a bit of force going through the airframe when you do pull those really hard maneuvers.
And as a kit, I mean, I'm assuming it comes just as a flat pack kit that you built up.
Yeah.
How does the build go? Is there much like hand finishing and much work to be done, or does it like an RC car now where they pretty much just go together straightforward?
A lot of it's pretty straightforward. One thing I do with my carbon fiber frames is I actually sand them down, just take that sharp edge off them. Yep. There's nothing worse working on these things and you slide your hand across a piece of carbon fiber and it cuts you open. So I do that for that reason, plus also wire chafe, especially around the battery area. When that's wedged in around the canopy and things like that, that's moving inside, just making sure that we're not nicking those wires and creating a short.
Yep, because you wouldn't want like I said, it's quite unbelievably dangerous. No, if it goes wrong.
There's seriously big plugs on this.
6.5 mil, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the power supply is a 12S, 5,000 milliamp, so 50 volt.
Wow.
When it gets plugged in the wrong way, it's quite violent. Those connectors don't last very long when it does go wrong. So hence why I've gone a different system and using the blue interconnector so that we don't have that crossover.
Well, these wires are almost as thick as the ones on your car.
Yeah, I did put that 10 gauge on my car. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they might be 8, those ones.
Yeah.
But that battery's capable of putting out 500 amp bursts. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a helicopter, so what's the anatomy of a helicopter?
Yeah, can we get on the over? I don't know if we can get anything.
Let's
in
see
the
what
overhead.
we can see here.
You might have wanted to fiddle with that first. Here we go. Look at this. We're in.
We're in. We're in.
Just watch.
What are we looking at?
I don't know.
Here we go.
You've zoomed in to the top of the head and saw
There we
my
go.
rusty bolts.
Here we
on
go.
top. So up the top, we've obviously got our rotor head where we're bolting our blades on.
Yep.
And it's essentially what holds the helicopter in the air. If we don't have that, then we don't have anything at all.
Yep.
Off that, we've got our squash plate in here. So it moves up and down
Yep.
forwards, backwards, side to side. So that
Yep.
gives you all your direction.
Yes.
And then obviously the body or the monocoque, which holds our powertrain.
Yep.
In this one particular, it's a 2-stage gear reduction.
Mhm.
Motor does 9.8 turns to 1 on the rotor head.
Yep.
And then the tail's 4.9. So that'll rotate once, tail will go 4.9. So that counteracts the torque of the engine, the
Yep.
motor. We've got our speed control, and then we've got at the front here, don't know if they can see it on the front there, but we've got our servos which control that.
So it's 3 servos
Up
for
and
the
down.
swash plate.
Yeah, so
Yep.
this in particular is what they
Wow.
call CCPM.
Yep.
So it's collective cyclic pitch mechanism.
Yep.
So
I'll try and change the angle on that just so people can see.
You're going to cut my head off. Just be careful, mate.
Because
So-
I think if you've never seen a swash plate before, I mean, these are quite ingenious. How
Yeah,
they
I'll put my
work.
hand under there
They're
so
good?
you can drive the camera.
So look, look at that.
It's all right. It's only worth like $1,000.
Ah, that's all right. Yeah, I know. You'll save it. So there's a swash plate right here, right?
yes.
And with the angles, I'm always quite amazed at with the angles that it is put into, that controls the direction that the helicopter is going to move. And as the rotors are spinning around, it's changing the pitch of
Yes.
the blades as it's going around.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So basically, as the blade rotates on a 2-blade system, you've got
Yep.
one blade lifting.
Yep.
So as it drops pitch off, obviously, as it comes through this way, so majority of the control points here.
Yep.
If we drop pitch off on this side, it will actually allow the helicopter to come to the left.
Right.
Then as it rotates to the direction it is at the moment, if we
Yep.
drop pitch off here,
Yep.
it will actually move forward. So
Right.
yeah, it's really, when you sit there and look at the whole theory side of it, it should not ever work. But yeah, when it works, it's great.
Well, that's quite amazing. I mean,
Astronomical.
that is the amazing part of the whole action, I think.
So change the pitch again and show the swash plate moving a little bit. There we go. You can see here, so that runs on the center shaft there.
Yeah.
Yep.
On
Yeah.
the main shaft, and then the swash plate runs on the outer.
Yeah,
So no doubt bearings are very, very important to
absolutely.
be in really good condition.
Yeah. If you get one lumpy, especially in the main shaft area, if you've got one lumpy bearing,
Yep.
that main shaft only has to move, 4 thousandths, and all of a sudden the whole helicopter's shaking.
Yep.
And they're really, really critical.
Okay, so we've got the battery is
Yeah.
sitting on the bottom there. Obviously, we get the low center of gravity. Is that?
Yeah.
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 And then we got it feeds through the speed control. So this is very much like a car sort of setup, right? Pretty
Very
basic.
yeah, except we don't run censored motors in these. They're
Right.
uncensored. Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got the motor here. So it's
Yes.
an outrunner motor.
Yes.
So outrunners basically because they have more torque. Is that the reason for outrunner?
A lot more torque, but they're
Yep.
also a lot more RPM as well.
Oh, really?
Like,
Okay.
well, you got more poles in there.
Yes.
So yeah, generally more torque,
Yep.
but that thing runs at around about 21,000 RPM
Okay.
when this thing's fully spooled up. So yeah,
And then on
5.5
the car,
kilowatts is enough pull.
that's a bit of power.
It's yeah.
Well, it is pretty chunky, isn't it?
Compared to the old nitros,
Yes.
it's double the power.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
That with 50 volts, like
Yep.
that's the main thing as well. There's
Mm.
50 volts going in there.
Yep.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Compared to what we're running, majority 7.4, 14.8 and 8 scale.
Yes. And I guess with that high voltage, that's also why you weren't using a VEC. So you've got a separate battery pack in there for your radio?
I actually run a buffer pack. So
Oh.
the Scorpion ESC that I'm running there, it actually has a 20 amp back in it.
Right.
But I
20.
run just for safety
Yes.
a buffer pack.
Okay.
Over the years I've had a couple fail and had no control at all. And now that I'm actually flying a lot harder than what I used to, and a lot lower,
Yes.
I just that added insurance.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we could power this up. We can move the swash plate around, and the drive is totally isolated.
Right. Okay. Now with the drive too, so your old glow engine powered helicopters, they'll be running off a clutch.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
are these direct drive or they still have a clutch in them?
These actually have a one-way bearing in it, and even the Nitro helis had a one-way bearing in the main gear.
Yep.
This setup's a little bit different. We've got our one-way bearing actually down in the lower stages of the drive,
Right.
but it does isolate the motor. So we can auto-rotate these helicopters just like the full size.
Okay.
A lot of the more advanced guys, like
Mhm.
the really, really insane guys from America, they'll do aerobatics while doing the auto-rotation on the way down to the ground. Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
brave, isn't it?
When Brendan tries it, it usually ends up in the dirt. So
Wow. That is quite amazing. Let's go back to the front.
Oh, it is a monster, isn't it? It is just bespoke.
Mate, a day at the field is a day at the gym.
That's
Throwing
right.
that thing around.
So basically, all the side panels and a lot of the horizontal parts too are carbon fiber.
Yeah.
You got some aluminium bulkhead. So this is the 7075 components you talk about because
Yeah.
they're really tough all the way from the head.
Yeah, stainless
Down
steel
here.
main shaft.
Yep.
Um,
And then you've got aluminium tube for the boom.
yes.
Yep.
And it's a 6mm bando belt for the tail drive. So it's belt driven tail on this one.
Yep.
A lot of the older style ones back in the nitro days, we used to actually have a torque tube, which was made out of either stainless steel or carbon.
Yep.
And you had your mushroom gears and all that sort of stuff in there. Not a bad system, but when you crashed, you'd have to go and pull the whole helicopter apart. So I moved down the belt route probably about 2012 and haven't looked back really.
Keeps it nice and neat.
Yeah, it
And
does,
there's
and it's
pitch-
quieter. It's a lot quieter as well.
There's pitch on the tail rotor as well.
Yeah. So as per the head, the tail is actually has tail pitch as well.
Yep.
So counteracting the torque as you spool up and lift the helicopter up, that will actually have around about 4-5 degrees of tail pitch.
Yep.
To counteract the torque. But then if you want to turn the nose left or right, you're just minusing or adding pitch.
Yep.
And that will allow the helicopter to rotate. Yeah.
Very,
How
very
special
cool.
is this? Very special. So with the servos you use on this, obviously with all your maneuvers, you want something like a car, guys. You want something high speed, high torque.
Yeah. So
High quality.
high quality, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these things are capable of about 240 k's an hour when you fully crank them up. So
Wow.
I tend to rely on something of good quality.
Yep.
I went with the Futabas on this. The H700s, really good torque. I think it's like 27 kilos at 0.08 or something like that. So super quick, but so precise as well. Never had a failure with the Futaba stuff. I'm running another brand at the moment, which is very similar performance-wise, but it's new to the marketplace and hasn't quite made its way through yet.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. I just noticed you got a little bit of a car part there.
Yeah. The Team Lacey servo ones.
Yep.
Are we allowed to say that?
Why
Oh,
not?
of course.
We can say whatever we want.
Yeah, just
So you got them all around just to match. So
You didn't
like the
airbrush
feel
this,
there.
did you?
yeah,
You did airbrush that.
man. Yeah,
Alright.
that's part of my handiwork as well.
We
Cool.
might
Yeah.
touch on that a bit more later.
So what material are the bodies?
That one's actually fiberglass, but
Mhm.
in some specs they do use a carbon frame, canopy.
Yep.
But very early on, especially with the flybarless gyros with the receiver antennas, it actually shield the RF signal.
Oh,
So
yes.
it creates a little bit of an issue. But the noise rejection now is pretty good, so they've sorted all that out. But when you're burying them, mate, you don't want to be paying $200 a canopy every time. So
That would be painful because they are very thin shelled, aren't they? Keep them
That'd
lightweight.
be the
Yeah.
least thing you'd be worried about, no? That'd be the cheapest part when you stacked it. No?
no. Boom's $12. Like not on this particular model. This one's out of Germany, obviously, so it's got German tax on it. But the other brands of helicopter, the other one that I'm running at the moment at home, it's $12 for a boom, $15 for a main shaft. So it's quite economical to crash. Not that I really enjoy doing that part of it.
No.
Yeah.
But there's
Wow.
I can just see the craftsmanship in the building as well and setup. I can only imagine the detail and setup in actually setting up the swash plate and your trims and your servo horns and everything. It must be, like you said, to the 10th of millimeter, to the thousandth even. Like,
If you're like me, mate, you go whole hog and you try and get everything mechanically sound. It does make it a lot easier to fly. If you're relying on electronics to try and mask the mechanical setup, it never really works quite well. But when you do get it right, it just flies so nice.
and that's because it's got one of its systems is an inbuilt gyro. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And it doesn't use a receiver. It sort of uses a receiver like we use traditionally, but this is called a V-bar.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that does a whole heap more than just your controls, doesn't it?
Yeah. The V-bar is a lot more advanced than a lot of the other flybarless systems that are out there on the market. If you like, we can get transmitter in here and I can show you a few functions. But essentially with this unit, it has all the settings for the helicopter in it.
Mhm.
And from the radio, I can actually tune like I can land the helicopter and tune it while it's still spooled up, and then
Yep.
go again and make some adjustments. And it also allows me to tune my speed controller as well.
Mhm.
And then when I'm finished at the day of the field, I drive into my garage. It connects up to my Wi-Fi at home and uploads all my flights to my account, and I can go through and analyze my flights and things like that. So yeah, it's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's I don't know what to
Amazing.
say. It's this next level. Yeah, I'm so far out of my depth here.
I've noticed
That's
something with the ball connector, well, the turnbuckles. Like on cars, we'll use actual reverse threaded turnbuckles. These are not.
No, they're not. So the idea being, like, we're not adjusting
Set
it
it
all the
and
time.
forget it,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's set
Yeah.
and forget. So yeah. they
So I
don't-
would have thought you want that precise adjustment to begin with. But I guess you make sure they're absolutely the
You
same
build
length,
it right to begin
Yeah.
with, and
Yeah.
then
and then they just go on. And then
Yeah.
you do your finer adjustments with your sub trims and things.
So what I've actually done is I've drilled out a set of verniers and put some ball joints on there that
Oh,
I had
okay.
spare,
Yes.
and I can make those 3 links exactly
Exactly the same.
identical. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, you get it pretty close.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously you must do, because you got it on this machine that's doing some wild stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. That's
and you said
amazing.
this will go like 240 kilometers. What that land speed?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. So like
that'd be gone pretty quick.
yeah.
I reckon we get it out to the velodrome next time.
the bellow.
It could fly in the middle while the X-Max is doing backflips off the wall. What do you reckon? That
Why
would be quite a spectacle.
It would. It would. Wow. This is one beast of a machine. It's amazing, the craftsmanship. I mean, you may not be able to see up close from home, but I mean, just looking close at all the machining involved in all the parts, really. And then I mean the blades themselves. So these blades are foam core.
Yes. Yeah. So these blades are actually handmade in America.
Yep.
They're a one-piece carbon, so they're basically folded over the leading edge.
Yep.
There's no seam on there.
Oh.
And you might notice too, there's a significant cutout on top.
Yep.
And that actually reduces a lot of drag that the blade generates around the center of the rotor head. So
Right.
In some cases, it actually gave me another 20, 30 seconds of flying time just from that one change on the helicopter.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what is the general flight time with that big battery?
If you sort of putting around a little bit, you probably get 5 minutes out of it. If you're really beating on it, it's 3.5 minutes.
Wow.
3.5 minute
Yeah.
flight time.
When you like the motor under load will drag 180, 240 amps.
Wow.
Oh.
So yeah, you're going to deplete that pretty quick when you're doing.
Yeah,
that
well,
sort
it's
of
only
stuff, but-
5,000 milliamps, so it's not huge. Like we use bigger packs in our cars.
Yeah.
But you're talking about 50 volts, so it's a huge amount of power being used up and consumed.
Yeah.
That's madness.
Yeah.
So is it quite like hot? Like is the battery warm? Is the speedy and the motor, or is it? I suppose that much airflow. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it does because it's got no cooling in the canopy. There's no
Yeah.
holes in there. Yeah, if you're flying backwards, you're still getting a lot of hot air trapped in the back of it. The motor does get quite hot, and that's that motor, that brand of particular motor. The speed is probably around about 42 degrees, and the
Okay.
battery is probably about the same.
So it does it pretty easy, really.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
not
it's
pushing
not
it
like
too hard.
coming back smoking hot. Like that's just
No.
how it does.
No,
Wow.
no, it does it pretty easy, mate. It's not asthmatic at all.
That is,
Wow.
yeah, that is super impressive. Yeah, I don't even know. What else could you show us?
Well, grab
Can
the
we
radio.
fly? Can we fly it?
Can we fly it, mate? You were scared when I armed it before.
No,
You're like, don't do that.
no, I puck it up.
You did
I
indeed.
definitely puck up.
You were waterproof.
Yeah, no, look, we can get
But you promised me and assured me that the motor's unconnected. Or something's unconnected.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
something's
it's- we're disconnected here, mate. We're all good. So we can grab the radio and we can turn it on,
I'll do that.
and we can show the functions of the swash plate and all that sort of stuff.
So we can probably get that on camera. We can move the chopper forward.
Move this forward a bit here.
Because we get that on the overhead now.
There we go.
Here we are. Look at that.
So this is the Mikado vtouch.
vtouch.
Vtouch, yeah. So they're not a. Oh,
You taking photos, babes?
Excuse me. I'll keep that for later.
What did you get?
That's one of my souvenirs.
Yeah, so they're not a known manufacturer of radios, but they've done a really, really good job with this product. And there's so many functions. You won't let me turn it on because you're too scared. But I can program from this controller. I can program my speed controller. I can actually have a look at how many milliamps I've used during the flight. There's a whole range of stuff in here that we can use. If I've got 4 of these batteries. Every time I plug one in, I can say, well, okay, I'm using battery pack number 3 today. It'll log it that flight, and then I'll have all the data in there as well. So this is just a simple menu where I can adjust my agility and my gain. So that's controlling the rotor head. You see here, we've got an RPM. So I can set the particular RPM for the rotor head that I run. So we run quite high head speeds for 3D flying. 1700 sort of more like a hovering head speed, but generally this one will run 2200 on the head. So the blades itself are doing well over 400 kilometers per hour on the tip.
So the motor itself is pretty much running at a particular speed all the time.
Yeah, it's to get maximum efficiency out of it and power. I'm running it at around about 89%, which is where that's where it's making the most power. It's making everything really, really easy. And generally through the data logging in here, you can actually see what RPM suits the helicopter. So if I run too low of a head speed at 1700, we'll see the the RPM drop right down. But if I run it at a higher one, the RPM sort of stays more constant. So it's a lot easier to do these harder, faster maneuvers.
Makes perfect sense.
So from that, we can adjust any point on our controller. So this is now looking at this little blue box up the top here. So we can adjust our collective pitch on the helicopter. So as we push up, it raises our swash plate. So we're going up and down. And then we've got So I fly mode 1. That's the other thing. So a lot of older people like myself will run mode 1. The newer generation pilots tend to run mode 2. So
mode 1 was pretty much the most common in Australia, right?
Because a lot of the radio gear come out of Japan, and that was the most common mode in Japan. And mode 2 sort of come about from the Americans because they believed that it was easier to have the cyclics on one stick. We'll leave that one there.
Right, okay.
I think this way for me, I've flown this way for nearly 30 years.
Comfortable.
Yeah, super comfortable. I can fly drones, all 4 modes, doesn't matter which one, but when it comes to this sort of stuff, I just stick with mode 1.
Well, you're pushing this pretty hard, aren't you?
Yeah.
When
And you don't have a
drive
lot of
your
time to
RC
think about it.
car, you use a wheel radio?
Yes. Yeah. I probably should have stuck with this. Probably would have got
I don't
banned. I would have got banned though because of the telemetry.
Why, the telemetry?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
It's
so
a lot
that's
of adjustment, isn't it?
Yeah. So we can run through. We can have a look at our governor. So
Hey, governor. No?
So the governor. So what's the governor? The governor's the speed governor.
Yeah. So the governor is the rotor head RPM. So it's coming through. That signal's coming through the speed controller. And it's obviously monitoring the commutation and whatever I've set it here. It may equate to 2200. So the 63%, as you saw before, it was 1700.
Right.
The 87, I had to turn it to 0 because Brett was scared.
I'm scared.
But the 87, the 87's around about 2220 RPM.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the higher the throttle output. Obviously, we're going to lose a bit of our functionality because you won't let me plug it in.
No, that's all right.
But it's super cool controller.
But you can basically set parameters without plugging anything separate into it. You do it all via wirelessly through your transmitter.
Yeah, so we can go in now and we can actually change our main rotor. So these are the functions within the swash plate. So for instance, this style one.
Turn that right up.
Well, it's funny.
You got high style.
That's right.
Yeah, you think that turning it up would be better, but it actually makes the helicopter more robotic.
Okay.
So it becomes really, really locked in. It's more like flying a drone.
Yep.
The lower the number, the more actually the helicopter can move and rotate.
This is electronic systems, is it?
No,
Is it
no, these are the parameters within the flybar controller. So you're just
Yep.
tuning it to whatever, however you want the feel.
so with style? How does that differ with the other settings?
So style is more if you want it really, really locked in.
Yep.
Then you'll wind it right up, so
Yep.
it feels robotic.
Okay.
The lower the number, the more fluid it becomes.
Okay.
So it'll actually.
So it's a combination of reaction and speed of movement type of thing.
It's more like putting more gain into the rotor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So rather than it,
Yes.
it just if you've got it on high, it
Yep.
will lock the swash plate right up, and then it'll just slowly roll over.
Right.
Yep.
But in this,
Yep.
it'll just roll over really quick.
Okay.
So to make it a more fluid movement, like you
Yeah.
say. Yep.
Yeah. So if you think of like a ball joint really, really tight,
Yeah.
that's what pumping that number up's going to do for you.
Okay. Yeah.
But if your ball joint's nice and fluid,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
same thing.
So the more
Wow.
stylish you are, the lower you have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's very cool. I love it. Well, that is really cool.
And it's quite
So-
amazing.
Yeah, and the optimizer one on this particular one too,
Mhm.
you hit the optimizer, you fly it, and it will actually tune itself in.
Yep.
To how you fly. So, yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot of functions in it.
That is fantastic. You actually shared a video with me a few weeks back of another pilot that was flying. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I might put that on the Hearns Racing Facebook page. For a
Yeah,
link
that'll
and
be
stuff,
interesting.
so
Yeah,
you guys
no,
can check
sure.
out what these things are actually capable of.
Yeah. No, that was
Yeah, they're pretty impressive. Like you just think, I don't know. I think about helicopters going up and doing figure eights or something, but you did just do something that's demonic. You know what I mean? It's mental.
Out of
It's
this
really,
world.
really cool. And they're like standing right next to it, looking at it, and go, "No, it looks like it's out of control." You know, one left move, and there's three people that are going to lose their head.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's part of the thrill, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And the noise is quite disturbing as well.
Mm.
You know, and you can see the whole everything flexes, and obviously because you're putting so much load and G
Yeah.
forces through it,
Yeah.
it's like tying itself in knots.
Yeah.
So that is really cool, Brendan. All right, well, I
Nice.
think we've done enough heli stuff.
Yeah,
For the
that's
moment.
amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that with
Well,
us.
no
thanks
worries at
very
all,
much
yeah.
for bringing that in. Yeah. So Brendan's also drives on our race team as well. He's one of our Hearns racing team.
Yeah.
And he's also involved with a club as well.
Hmm.
So we might get him on in another 15 minutes or so. We've
Yep.
got some other stuff to talk about.
Yep.
And
Too
we'll,
easy.
we'll talk cars and stuff. What do you reckon?
Awesome, mate.
Fantastic,
into it.
Brendan.
All right.
Well, thanks for
Excellent.
bringing this big beast on. It's called a Diablo.
A Diablo.
Is that
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah.
A Diablo. I don't want to touch it. I don't know.
You don't want to touch it. You
I don't know. I don't
know how to
what
hold
I'm
it. You got to handle it.
I don't know.
Right.
Start it, you'll go, and then you'll lose your head, and then I'll be in trouble.
That'd be sad, wouldn't it?
Wow.
You wouldn't know what to do.
That was impressive, no?
It was.
That is
For
a
sure.
big beast. I've
For
never
sure.
seen anything like it up close.
Yep.
Let's talk about little cars.
All right, so let's see.
Where
think
did we
got
get
some
to?
More, we got some more guesses, I reckon.
Who was impressed?
I think everyone's impressed. Let's have a look.
About little cars.
Where are we going? Green one looks like the car. Oh, we already did that one.
Green one? What green one?
There's a little green, bluey one.
What?
Simon Healy says, hello, Tuckerbag. I'm sure Mrs. Tuckerbag will come back.
Hello, Tuckerbag.
Bruce Baker's guessed an Isetta 300. I think it's
Isetta
an Isetta 300, but which one is the Isetta 300?
Yes. So we got this one over here is a Messerschmitt. And
That's a
then
Messerschmitt.
nothing else has been guessed.
So Messerschmitt. So we don't know the model of that one yet.
It's a Messerschmitt. Dijon.
Yeah, but it's got a code. Dijon mustard.
Yeah. Messerschmitt Dijon.
The blue one, no one's picked that one properly yet.
No.
And the red one, no one's picked it properly yet. But we do know out of those two, one of them's a BMW. One was a BMW Isetta.
There you go.
And what have we got there? Is the blue Roman blue?
Roman blue.
Don't know. I don't know. It could be. Might not be.
Tony P would know if it's a Roman blue. If anybody's going to know what a Roman blue is, it's...
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But anyway, let's turn them around, eh? Let's turn them
Now,
around.
they are fabulous looking models.
They're good, aren't they?
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what happened last week?
Where did we go on Sunday?
We went to Model Expo.
We went to Model Expo. We were off the leash, weren't we? We were
Yeah.
getting around.
Yeah,
We were
yeah, there were no
interviewing.
leashes.
We were looking at all the stall holders. We
Yeah.
were checking out all the displays.
Yeah.
And they were pretty good. I
It was-
I'd never been before. It was at
Yeah.
Sandown Racecourse here in Victoria, in Melbourne.
Yep.
So just outside Melbourne there, part of the Sandown race where they race V8s and
That's right.
horses and
That
sort
whole
of stuff.
facility there.
Yeah. In the room down. It was
Yeah.
really nice. I thought
was
it was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah. So last time it was actually run was in 2019. That was the last
Yeah.
time they had a competition there, simply because of COVID and lockdowns and such.
Someone ate a bat.
Maybe.
Yep.
So it hasn't been on until this year again.
And
So
people were so excited. They were.
They
frothing.
were. So the last one in 2019, they had over 800 entries, and that was the biggest event to date.
Yeah.
But this year round, they had over 900.
Over 900.
And we could tell that too, because when we turned up, I wasn't expecting it, because the previous time we went there, it wasn't that busy when we went. But this time, there were people everywhere.
There was a lot of people, a lot of store holders.
Yes.
It was a really good vibe. We went
Yep.
about, what was it, about lunchtime Sunday?
Yep.
And we stayed about 4 p.m.
Yep.
Something
Up
like
to the trophy presentations.
Yeah. And it was really cool. We got to meet some really nice people.
Yep.
We had a chat to a few of a few of the entrants.
Yes.
They talked us right through their models and stuff.
That's right. And the
So
store holders.
all that stuff's in the editing and that at the moment. But yeah, watch our socials and our YouTube channel very
I'll put
carefully.
up a preview on Instagram just before.
Because it was really, really cool.
It was good stuff. So with that, I had an entry there too.
Oh, stop it. Show us.
You
Go on.
bring it out.
Show us.
What's this little fella get?
Ghibli. It's
You've probably
Simon.
seen this before, because
This is Simon
picked
Hill.
it, right?
This is Simon Healy's favorite.
So this is the
He
Gardner
thinks he's this little boy down here. What's his name?
puzzle.
Simon.
Is that Simon? All right, that's Simon. So this one, I actually built this a while ago, and I never really got anything finished in time. So I thought I should complete this, because I never finished it properly. I think it went to about 80%. And I managed to finish it, and I put it into the expo. So I basically added these little squirrel foxes on the shoulders of the Gardner
Can
robot.
you get in maybe in the top? I don't know, because we can't
We can
really
do
see.
the top.
We can't really see front on. Not that I'll tip him up, but
How's that?
it's not bad. I
So
like
top
the way
view.
you made the grass.
You like that?
Yeah, get in a
Yeah,
bit
it's
tighter
good.
so we can see these little
Bit tighter?
rats. What are they called?
Squirrel foxes.
Squirrel foxes.
There you go.
Here you go. Oh, Ghibli's moving around a bit.
Ghibli.
So
Oh, we could bend him over. Look, we could bend him over like
be
this.
careful. I don't know that you can say that.
So I've got a little LED light in there as well.
And
So
what
he's
about
got
the
flashy
ones
lights in his head.
in his headlights?
Don't know if they'll
Cool.
come on. They're random. But these are the little foxes here that I added.
Yep.
And then also the girl. So the girl actually re-sculpted and changed her clothing. So,
You gave her new pants.
yeah, because the original model that I did, she was actually let me just focus that. There she is. She was actually wearing a dress, and she was all in blue color. But in this particular scene where the robot is handing her this little flower in the hands, she was actually dressed in, I don't know, bell-bottom pants and a yellow blouse. So I've sculpted all that out of 3D resin and also green stuff putty.
You're inspired by the moustache, aren't you?
I was.
Yeah.
Which moustache?
From the little comical
Oh,
bobblehead.
yeah, I was.
Hey,
After doing a bit of stuff.
you got your sculpt on. So that is fantastic. And,
So yeah, I was quite happy.
and you took home some silverware. Let's
I
go
did.
back.
Well,
to
I
the
got
front.
to commend it, which I'm quite happy with, because
I commended. That's basically a fourth.
yeah,
Can we call it a fourth?
I guess so. Well, there were a
That's a
few others
commended.
there too, right? But I got commended.
Commended for sure.
Equal fourth with a number of other people too. I mean, the entries were really good. There was some really good work there.
And what was the classification again? What
So this one was for dioramas, non-military. So a lot
Dioramas
of science
non-military.
fiction, and then civil type stuff.
That's
as
right.
well.
There's a big like oil field thing, wasn't there?
Yes, big oil rig there.
Big oil rig,
Yeah.
and there was some really impressive stuff.
Hmm.
Some really cool cars. I love the cars and the motorbike. One motorbike in particular, that
Oh,
Ducati
amazing.
Porsche kit. That was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
4
very
years.
impressive.
4 years to build that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Very
I
well
get
done.
upset if I do painting a body for half an hour. I get a bit antsy.
You do. You get a bit angry, don't you? Well, since we're talking about models, let's talk. What have we got? We've got some new
What
stuff.
have we got? What goodies have we got in the shop this week?
All right. So
Congratulations, Vede. Well done on your Model Expo 2022.
thank you very much. We got some Cromlech. Okay, so Cromlech has just arrived with some new releases. So we got the Sindari. Did I show the Sindari last time? No, because I think these turned up pretty late on Friday last week. So these are wargaming type.
I think we saw
Figurines?
the Sindari.
They're all resin. Do we? Well, this other stuff is. I've got this orc fighter thing. Did I show that as well?
you did.
Did I?
I'm not sure. I'm lost.
Oh, you was?
I am lost.
Did I show you Norzilla?
Yeah,
I did
I
show it.
definitely remember Norzilla.
Oh, really? Oh, whoops, sorry. In that
That's
case,
like
I won't show you.
it's like we're reliving last week this week.
That's different. I didn't show you that. So
No.
this is part of the scenery materials that Cromlech also make. So these are
Flat pack.
flat pack,
Like
MDF,
IKEA.
yep, laser cut, and they come with really bright fluoro acrylic sheets.
I would really like to
these are
see you
good.
build one of these one day.
Oh, we'll get into something like this one.
Remember
Day.
when Nick did one? Looked like a coffee pot.
That's it.
He did a coffee machine one.
That's it. It's still here, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
We should bring it out one day.
Yep.
I would like to see what you could really do some really
Let's go from
amazing
the top.
things.
Let's have a look from the top there.
Right? So
Because you can see this.
it's like a
Let's-
fireplace.
Yep, let's bring it back down here.
So
There you go.
don't let me
So
drive
that's
it.
all laser cut.
Yep.
It gives it that impression that's really glowing. Like a plasma.
Yep.
Cool, isn't it? And there's how big an actual 28mm figure would look like. So it's quite tall. So it's pretty much the size of this whole piece of wood. And you can see the laser cutting on the back here. Like so. And then also all this acrylic's laser cut as well.
Doesn't even smell like kippers, this shipment.
It does a little bit. It's cool.
That is fantastic.
Like that. And then we've got a whole heap of tanier as well. I've
Oh,
only picked out one of the ones that
which one?
I picked out this one. This is a bit of a favorite. Not a new kit, but it's a good one.
I've seen that before.
So there's a Spitfire Mark 8.
Mark 8.
Yeah.
What
Great
can
thing
you tell
about
me
this,
about the Mark 8? Where's Dan?
well, Dan's not here, so he'll tell you more. But this one's got an Australian version as well.
I thought it was the English plane.
It's English plane, but the Australians also flew them.
Did they?
So there's the Australian markings.
Oh, that's fantastic. And it's included in the decal kit.
That's it. So this
Really?
is from this is Wing Commander Bobby Gibbs,
On you, Bobby.
number 80 Wing RAAF. So it was on Morotai, Dutch East Indies.
That's really cool.
It is, isn't it?
That would be a really good model to paint scheme to model, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's quite striking. But you've got quite a few different options.
And you can build the engine too.
That's right. All the cowling
Really?
comes off the engine. That's yeah. Super nice. And it's got photo etch parts in it as well.
That's really cool. Oh, look,
Super
there's
nice.
Australian decals included.
That's right.
I haven't
Stake
seen that
in there.
before.
But it's been around for a little while. And every time we get them in, they
They-
go pretty quick.
I can see why.
Yeah.
I can see
Bit of
why.
a favourite.
Because there's not heaps of Australian stuff. Like,
No,
there's a fair
no,
bit,
that's
but
right.
obviously we're only a small little country, so
Yeah.
that's really cool when a big company like Tamiya does stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because you can bet that it's going to be awesome quality.
It's a beautiful kit. Yeah, so that's what I've got for plastics. What else have we got on? We're going to talk about next week. We doing anything next week?
We can talk about next week.
Yeah.
So last week was Model Expo.
Yes.
This week is preparation. Yeah, got to catch up some sleep. There's some preparation.
Yes.
You've actually got to do some modeling for me this week,
Apparently, yes.
and for yourself.
Yep.
You're going to get that truck engine detailed.
Yep.
And we are going to Bendigo.
Bendigo.
We
We're
are
off.
taking the circus off. Hey,
We're going to be there.
we're gonna roll up to there. We're gonna run our fun machines, our Tamiya's and stuff, our racing trucks.
Coinkles.
We're gonna pit out with the guys. We're gonna have a day at the races. So it's just a Bendigo on-road club meet.
Yep.
July the 3rd, Sunday, July the 3rd. Yeah, come and see us. You've got
Really
a
looking
week
forward
warning.
to it.
We'll probably have our cars here next week and display what we're actually going to run, but we're
Yep.
giving everybody a week heads up so you can lock it in the calendar, organize yourselves, and come out and have a race day with us. It's going to be huge. It's going
It's
to
going
be
to be great.
It's going to be
Looking forward
good.
to it.
Yeah, I haven't been there for
It's
ages.
been a long time since I've been to a full race meet.
Yeah. So we're only taking the fun cars, but we're
Yep.
going to have fun. That's the whole idea. We're
That's
just
it.
going to tootle around. We're going to have fun. Going to help people, say hello, and hopefully get heaps of social media. We might
Yeah.
get the cameras out and stuff, hey?
Sure.
Yep, and talk to a few people. So that
Yep.
is really cool. All right, little cars. Can we
Little
talk?
cars, what do we got? What do we got? Okay, so Tony P, after he said, is it blue, Roman blue? We don't know. Is the blue one a two-seater sports model? I don't know.
Oh my God, Tony. We're the ones asking the questions, mate.
Well, there's one seat for sure.
There's definitely got a steering wheel.
Yeah. Two-seat. I don't know. It's very bubbly.
I'm calling it a two-seater, but who knows? It might have a sneaky third in there. I don't know
We're
much
just going to
about
make it
them.
up. Sorry, Tony. Maybe.
Look, I'm sort of giving it away. I'm getting close. I love these little cars. Nobody ever gets it, do they?
No,
We've
no.
only got one out of the three.
Well, one. I mean, that's pretty good pick. I mean, that's a very classical shape for the Messerschmitt. And then, I mean, one of them's got to be a BMW for sure because it's very round, but no one has worked out which one it is yet. All right. Oh, well, I guess we'll keep plugging away at that while we start moving on to what are we talking about now?
I'd like to get Brendan Tucker back on.
Yep.
And talk about airbrushing, talk about Yokomo, and talk about Wodonga.
Yay!
So come back in, Mr. Brendan Tucker. Hoi!
Oh,
Hello.
These things look a little bit different to before.
Coming back.
These are more like what we
I'm
used to.
sort of back in my happy place now. I can touch it and I understand what's what. It's not going to rip my arm off. Wow, I've seen your driving.
You see my driving, but it's scary enough, isn't
it? It could well do.
Yeah.
We're missing we're all about propellers. Actually missing a wing on this one.
Yeah. Look, it was going too fast last week and I blew it off. So
there you go.
Yeah.
So you run up at Mildura a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then last weekend you had a clubby.
Yeah, we had a clubby at Wodonga.
Up at Wodonga, and that is fantastic. And how many numbers did you get up there?
We had 15 last week, yeah.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. And the little club's growing?
Yeah, we are actually. So we've built up quite significantly since the start of the year. We're up to 28 members now.
Yep. I visited early in the year. We did the Summer Slam up there, which was it was phenomenal. And I keep promising the boys that we're going to go up. We're going to take the Hearns circus up. So we might do it if we can find a spare weekend in the next month or two. Come up and try and get away the doldrums of Melbourne winter, because it is often a little bit drier and crisper up there, isn't it?
Fresh,
often.
Very fresh.
Yeah, it can be cold overnight, but the days can be a little bit warmer and drier.
Yeah, it's generally around about 15, 16 degrees.
Yep. So Brendan is the president of the Wodonga Club. Yeah. And how long has Wodonga been going for? Because I actually remember, not at the location it is, I've been racing there since 93 was the first time I probably visited there. I think we had an Orc around, maybe even the Victorian titles there that year.
I remember going to the Nationals, on-road Nationals some time ago.
The on-road Nationals. I raced at the current complex I think they had a F1 Nationals there, I think 2003, I want to say.
Yep.
I went up to Wodonga for that. So they have a mixed complex.
Yep.
Now, currently the on-road club's not running, is that right?
Yeah, we don't have a lot of interest in the on-road at the moment. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 members that actually do have touring car stuff, and they run at Wangaratta.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So those guys are Northeast Radio Control Car Club.
Yep.
So Baden and the boys, they run down there. We, being a little club, and rebuilding, we're just trying to get some interest in around the community. And the off-road stuff seems to be more popular with the people around there. So we're hoping, maybe towards the end of this year that we get the on-road going again.
Yeah.
The facilities there,
the facility, the driver's stand, it's all there.
Yeah.
Apart from needing a good blow off and a good clean, it's essentially ready to go, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's quite a good little spot. We try our best to do what we can to make people welcome. So
it is a great club atmosphere. It is a great little facility.
Yep.
It's very typical of a regional off-road club in that it's quite old-fashioned in the surface and the preparation, but that's what makes it good, and that's what makes it off-road, and that's what makes it unique.
Yes.
Does some big jumps. It's got probably one big jump. It's got a nice big long flowing straight. It comes around in a 90 degree. The cars can really stretch their legs, and it's got quite a flowing layout. So it's a really good little facility. Great club. Now you guys run. When do you guys run?
So we run the third Sunday of every month.
The third Sunday of every month. So if you guys want to find out more, you've got a Facebook page and a website, I'm assuming?
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page. The website hasn't been updated for
a long time.
Yeah.
No, everybody's on
on
Facebook these days, aren't they? It's really live and really up and about. I saw you guys did post the results from last clubby up on there.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And here's a couple of the Yokomo. So what have we got here? Now, these were painted up fresh, weren't they?
They were,
this
mate.
one not. Or
We
you
got
put an old sticker on there, haven't you?
Hey, it's promotion.
That's right.
It's all about the promotion,
That's
mate.
right.
Yeah. No, SummerSlam was, awesome event. We did the little stickers up just to sort of give something back to the RC community. It's a little memento, let's say. we go to these events and we go, yeah, we had a great time, and we look it up on Facebook, but how do we actually, recognize it in the end? So
That
we
we were
thought,
there, yeah.
those little stickers. And the funny part is, mate, we saw a heap of those stickers over at Mildura.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Mine's going to stay on the car until the body gets folded in half, which realistically is probably about 3 times on track, but
Yeah.
we won't talk about it.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like to get the club going, we did the WRCC stickers as well. So, you'll see our members running those stickers on their cars.
Yep.
So yeah, we're pretty easily identified. Yeah.
That is really cool. So we've got a Yokomo YZF for SF2.
Correct.
That's a really good little fan mount we've got here.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I had one of these on the SF1 that I was running at, or that Nick actually run at the Vix.
Yeah.
They are really cool little ducks. I don't
Where are
know
they
where
from?
it came from. I'm not sure.
Artcraft. They're out of America.
Right.
So
They're- It's nice. It's like a duct and it runs over the center shaft, but really effective.
Oh,
and super
Okay.
light.
Super light, and even because it's right in the middle of the cab, so it's hard to, like, Nick couldn't even smash the pan. So that was really cool.
Challenge accepted.
That's right. So that's a 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
That is the current buggy,
Yes.
and that is a 2-wheel drive. That's the current one. That is-
well, it's
What is that?
It's an ex Simon Healy.
That's a
racing. Yeah, it's
Healy Cal
the
3
captain's,
Monster
yeah, the
Yep.
captain's monster. So it's a
with some very nice battery hold down
Yeah.
attachments. I don't know if
Yeah.
we can see that overhead. Who's done that?
so Mr. Berserk.
Berserk has done that
Yeah, he does some wonderful work.
with carbon
Paul,
trickery.
Yeah, awesome. And also
Lovely.
running the 3.1 tower on the back, so it gives me the new geometry. This is actually a DDM3.
Yep.
And I've just chucked a few upgrades at it to bring it up to current spec. So,
Yeah.
my son actually has his eye on it at the moment, so I might have to buy
Yep.
another one.
Get yourself a new one.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had a new DTM 3.1 on the track a couple of weeks ago for the first time, and I actually had I've got an ex Healy Cal 3.1, and yeah, you wouldn't think it was much different, and I nearly didn't get the new car on the track because I thought, oh, how's this car going to be any better? You know, just stock set up and put it down, but it was just, I don't know how to explain because I'm not good enough, but it was just better. It was just smoother, sort of turned better, had better drive, jumped really nice, and that was just out of the box. So that was really cool, and that's really cool when you can take a car out of the box and it can match what you were currently running, an evolved car. So that's a really good sign of a new chassis.
Yeah.
So no, you definitely won't be disappointed, mate, if you get yourself a new DTM 3.1. Yeah, and the 4-wheel drive, these are super popular.
Awesome.
Everybody loves it, don't they?
Yeah.
4-wheel drive stock class with the 13.5 turn motor
Mm.
is really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable for most people. It's got more than enough for 90% of the people. And then when you go to the next step of trying to run modified, you're just destroying the car and your tires. You know what I mean? You've really got to be switched on. So
this thing at
4-wheel
Mildura
stock.
was awesome, and that track's a lot of fun to drive as well. But you get too excited in the moment, and you're trying to make positions and make mistakes, and it costs you in the end. And
Yeah, but that's
I
the
learned
best
the hard
bit.
way that weekend. But it's a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with the Healys. The captain, he's quite entertaining after hours. Isn't he?
Is he? I don't know. He
Yeah,
doesn't
he
talk
is.
to me.
Yeah.
He comes in and we do the odd build if you haven't seen them. But apart from that, no, he doesn't really talk.
You might have to have dinner with him one night.
He's got a great spin on life.
He
And I don't
certainly
care
does.
what's happening in the day. I always do get off the phone laughing with him.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
totally.
So that is really cool.
Very nice.
So yeah, so you got Wodonga on the 3rd week. So your next probably be in a month's time, effectively.
Yeah, so I
Your
think it's
next-
July 17th.
Your
is our
next
hobby.
big race coming up.
VDS.
Yeah.
VDS at the end of the year. So the 12th and 13th of November.
Yep.
We're hosting round 4 of VDS.
Yep.
And then next year we've also got the Vic State titles as well. So
Wow.
Oh, that's already happening, is it?
yeah, mate. Look, I like
That's
to be
cool.
super organised, and we've already started that ball rolling. So we're hoping to use SummerSlam as a
Test bed.
warm up.
Yep.
And then a couple of months later have the Vic State titles. So
Well, the
potentially-
SummerSlam for a one-off event, like basically a trumped-up club race. No disrespect to the club, but we had so many people coming from interstate and stuff.
yeah,
And I think Wodonga does that because it's just that a little bit closer to Melbourne. It's not halfway to Sydney. It's not even close.
No.
But you are 3.5 hours closer. So it does make it appealing from people from New South Wales or Canberra to come down and have a run.
Yeah.
And they did last time. And I think the Vic titles will probably be huge there.
Oh, it'd be awesome. Yeah, we had 114 entries out of SummerSlam for a club race.
Yeah.
That's a one-day event.
That's really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk from Adelaide as well. They want to come over to Wodonga and experience it. But you're not going to do that for one day on a SummerSlam. But, Vic State titles next year, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot more of those
when
guys.
it's a 3 or 4 day meet, of course.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool. Well, that is really good. And we've partnered up with Wodonga. We're trying to help them. We're trying to work off each other, show our support. And the club supports us. So, and that's what RC is all about. So it's really good to see that another Victorian club, coming up and about.
Yeah, no, it's awesome with the support that we get from everyone. And, we hope to build bigger and better. And, if we can get that on-road track going, there's going to be a lot more interest in that club. So that'd be good.
Yeah, well, the facility pretty much would be used weekly, I imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even then, just to like practice and stuff like that, like on-road is sort of notoriously easier in that, the track doesn't have to be as prepped somewhat as off-road. Off-road tracks take an awful lot of work at club level, don't they? To maintain, to keep nice. So
we're probably unique in the whole thing, though. We're actually a public track. We're not actually a club-owned track.
Yeah.
So, it's open for everyone to use at any time. Obviously when we're running, we've got right away, but
of course,
any Wodonga or Albury local person can go down there at any time and use that track.
Yeah. That is
Got
really
good
cool.
memories there.
Yeah.
It's a good facility.
It is really cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, mate.
No worries, mate.
Thanks for
having me.
talking Wodonga
Yeah.
and the heli and the cars.
Thank you.
You've really smashed it out.
Very impressive.
Oh, Beach, I'm spent.
Spent on what?
Oh,
What do you want to spend it on?
What time is it? My lord.
Oh, well, we've gone 20 minutes over.
I had a
Hey, how
feeling
about-
we had an awful lot of content today to get
We did,
through, didn't we?
We did. Okay, so
Somebody
what about
please help me with these little cards.
you? All right.
Somebody.
So Tony P's in it again.
Tony P, what have you got for us?
Blue one's a Trojan horse.
A what?
Trojan horse.
A Trojan horse.
Yep.
Okay. Is it?
No.
It's not a Trojan
No.
horse.
I think we're going to have to give it away. So how about let's have a close look on the top camera, eh?
Let's get on the top.
All right. What have we got here? So we've got the good old yellow one. That's a
Messerschmitt
Messerschmitt KR200.
KR200. 200cc, I'm assuming.
So Messerschmitt, I've got no idea. I assume so. It's got a little engine in the back. It's 3-wheel. Okay, single motor at the back there, driven. And then the canopy here actually opens sideways, very much like an aircraft, because what do Messerschmitt used to make?
Not sure.
Aeroplanes.
Kitchen knives. Oh, Messerschmitt.
Messerschmitt. They did the Messerschmitt 109, which they used for the Battle of Britain. So they attacked Britain with that. And after the war, they started making some of these. So that's a convertible too, which is pretty cool. Okay, so all these cars are from the late 50s.
Yep.
Someone mentioned a BMW Isetta. That's actually the red one.
The red one. That's
Red
the
one's
little
the Isetta.
goofy looking one, isn't it?
Yeah. So
That's
where's the door on that one?
Looks like a ball. The door's at the front, mate.
It is, mate.
You get into the front.
So when
You have a fold away steering wheel or
that's
something,
the
don't
one.
you?
That's it. Okay, so that's a BMW. So BMW also made a lot of aircraft engines during the war. And then the mysterious blue one is a Heinkel. Now Heinkel made aircraft during the war.
A Heinkel.
Heinkel.
That sounds like a swear word.
Does it? You Heinkel.
Oh, my Heinkel.
But that is indeed a Heinkel.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the 3 different bubble cars, all from the late 50s. So
And
between 1955 to 59,
And all German.
all German,
And all little.
all little.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's it.
You're done. Done like a pork chop.
The front camera, mate.
Oh,
Nobody wants to see these.
whoops.
Here we are. All right,
Well,
guys.
there's episode 109.
That is episode 109 done and dusted.
It is.
We've got a huge week. Like I said, this weekend, BJ's got his hands full with a bit of modelling.
Yep.
We've got my hands full trying to prep up 4 cars. We get prepped up.
Well, I've got
We'll
a pen
take
of a
2
body,
each.
right, for you. And I also started on my entry for Expo 2023.
I know you're so inspired. Hey?
Yep.
You
Something
started
special.
it. Is it
I have.
started? Is it? Can we lock it in as started?
It's done.
It's under a week, isn't it? Since the last one.
Yeah.
When
which
did you
gives
start
me, Which gives me just under a year to complete it.
There you go. Lock it in. Well, we'll be there with bells on. So
Yep.
look out for that footage coming out. I'm tipping that we'll get some out this week, won't we?
Yeah.
The Model Expo is really cool. So when you see our links and our come up on our Facebook channel on the premiere,
Yep.
check it out. It's really cool. I think we've got like one video that's half an hour.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
Hmm.
That was a good, and that's how long it took to walk around the show, didn't it?
Yeah. Easy.
And
And that was a quick walk around too.
that
so
was a quick
unfortunately,
walk
we
around.
didn't get absolutely everything that we would have wanted to do, but we got in a lot.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'd be like 3 hours footage if we were like,
for sure.
you know.
That's right.
So yeah, so that'll be a half-hour episode, and we'll cut
Yep.
little bits out of it too, little
Yeah, that's
segments and stuff, interviews. Fantastic, guys.
Good stuff.
All right, that was episode 109. Thanks heaps to our special guest, Brendan Tucker, for coming in,
Absolutely.
and Marlon for
That was
showing all
great.
his trains again.
Yes.
I learned even more.
You learn a little bit every time, don't you?
I'm a little bit confused now. I thought I had a grasp on it, but now we've gone to O.
That's one of your things too. You're always confused.
That's right.
So that's all right. So I have to say thank you again for everyone that's viewing.
Thanks
wherever you
everybody
are
for
around the world.
watching. Yep. Stay in touch. Thanks for watching.
And we'll be back here again.
We certainly will. And if you want to
Next
see
Friday.
anything in particular on next week's show, please let us know beforehand and we'll get it ready for you.
That's it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks
All
for
right.
watching.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.